Hey guys, Free Kong back here with another video. I know it's been a long time. It's been, I think, 7 or 8 months or so. So it's been basically half a year, and I don't really have a great excuse for not posting content besides the fact that I've been in school for the past 6 months or so grinding out finals. So it's been a lot of work for the past couple of months, and I haven't had as much time as I'd like to. However, I have been playing poker on Bet Online instead of ACR. I switched over, and I've made it from 10NL to 25 Zoom and then moved up to 50NL reg tables because Zoom doesn't run at 50NL on Bet Online. And that's the stake that I'm working on right now. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to post a lot of content because Bet Online blocks any streaming or recording media. So I've been having to focus less on content and more just on playing. But I did want to make a video for you guys just focusing on not gameplay but theory. And I wanted to go over a specific spot today that I've been looking at, which is the small blind and big blind 3-bet versus in position caller. I think that this is a spot that a lot of people make mistakes with because you're out of position. So it's a lot harder to kind of understand what villain's ranges and adjust and people end up just over bluffing a lot. So and obviously I do too. Like I'm not amazing at this. I've been getting consistently about 60%, which is not incredible, but it's okay. And so I wanted to make this video just to go over some of these spots, get your feelings because obviously not like I mean this is a very hard spot for anyone, even professionals, but for someone like me, it's something that I really want to work on because this is a place that I make a lot of mistakes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Just before we start, we're going to be using a 2.5x general open with 100 big blind stacks. So when the button or cutoff raises, it's 2.5x, and when we 3-bet, there'll be 11 big blinds on the small blind, 13 on the big blind. And we're also using high RNG to make it a little bit harder for us because I know somewhat about sizings, but I want to kind of work on balancing my range more so. So that means taking some more passive actions because I think that it's important to protect your range. So without further ado, let's get started. So we see an ace queen board with king jack. This is a board we will be betting a shit ton on with just entire range. It's an amazing board for us. It's a shit board for cutoff, and we roll a 71. Now the question is what size we want to use. I would imagine this size and this size are not really a thing because our range is just doing really well and we don't really need protection. So I'm leaning more towards 8.25 or 12.5 when we roll a 71. It's hard because I would imagine that one of these is going to be like 25%, the other is going to be mostly the other one. I'm going to choose the smaller sizing, and there you go. And he raises. This is hard already. I guess we'll fold. We have much better hands to continue with, and this has very little equity. He really? I'm surprised he's not trapping ace queen there. I feel like he just locks up the board. Interesting. Kings on a queen 8-5. It's looking like these two options are very nice, the 18.4 and 12.25. I'm usually using an 18.4 sizing here just because it's somewhat draw heavy, and maybe it's not going to be purely this kind of size, but this is the hand that does want to use it. So I'll pick it with the 65. Maybe we'll choose 12.25. And here I think we have a pretty clear all-in sizing. We're unblocking a lot of his queen X that wants to continue. The 10 is not amazing, but he shouldn't improve much on the 10, and he's going to have a lot of spades, so I'll pick all in. Yep, there we go, queen jack. All right, next, ace jack on the king jack 4. This is going to be a very good board for us, of course, as something that we're going to probably range bet a lot. I imagine the sizings are going to mostly be around 8.25 and 12.5. With the ace jack specifically, I think we want to go smaller. And we see the 3 turn. The 3 of hearts turn is this is a spot now where I'm kind of lost because we are not getting much value at this point from hands that are worse, yet we have a nice blocker to both. Maybe because we have nice blockers, we want to check. I'm wondering. Like I'm thinking in terms of value, what we get right here is we get spade and heart draws. That's it. Everything else is beating us. Maybe like jack queen, but also I think jack queen is kind of in a grim spot. So I'll choose to check this one. and I'm not sure we can fold just yet. I don't like this combo specifically. Like ace jack suited of diamonds might be nicer, but I don't think we can fold. And apparently we can fold, but it's a slightly EV call. So when we do call, we check. I think that this is close because I don't like having the jack of spades. I think the jack of spades is pretty trash. Um, Actually, is it that trash though? Like what Jack X is turn? I guess he's not turning any Jack of Spades. So it's a question of if we like having the Ace of Hearts, and I think we actually do like having the Ace of Hearts because he's not going to bluff any of his Ace of Hearts on the river, right? So I think I'm going to call this. Huh, nope. Apparently no calls. Okay, but point being is so let's think about what Jack X wants to call. Maybe like Jack Queen makes a nicer call because he's going to be bluffing a lot of his lower Ace X. Let's see. I want to see how much Jack X will call this river because maybe he just doesn't have enough bluffs for us to call with Jack X. So when he picks the all-in sizing on the river, which he's going to do a lot, we call with Queen Jack over Ace Jack because we like unblocking the ace. Now it's interesting for me to see like with our Ace X that does call, do we like having the heart? It's looking like we're kind of indifferent. We kind of just don't give a fuck about suits. But isn't it nice because he wouldn't be bluffing with the ace of hearts or the ace of spades? Like I get, it looks like, okay, it's pure calling with the ace of spades, and the reason is, or no, we just don't have ace, spades, jack of hearts, but it's pure calling with the combos because, or it's mixing, but it is having a call function because he's not going to be bluffing with his ace of spades, right? Whereas the other combos, it looks like it is doing more calling with the ace of hearts and ace of spades. I mean, it's 4 out of 5 combos are calling as opposed to half. Like if you see on the, let me go back to it. Do you see on the screen like the ace of spades combos 2 out of 2 and the ace of hearts combos 2 out of 3 versus the ace of diamonds, ace of clubs combos 2 out of 4. So I think the logic there is right, but maybe we don't like having ace of hearts, jack of spades because interesting. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but the thought process was right, I guess. But it looks like we just have better hands to call down with, and we like calling Queen Jack because we unblock Ace X plus. So again, if we're looking at the hands that he wants to check back on the river with, he says, "Fuck you, I don't care. I have Ace of Spades. Go find a bluff." But the Ace X of Spades. So then it's all dependent on interesting. The reason why we prefer with the Ace of Spades is because he's not going to be bluffing as much Ace of Spades as opposed to hearts. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Ace King on Jack 10-4. This is a board I will mostly be picking. I think I can honestly pick a lot of sizings here. I think Ace King can play some checks. I don't like Ace King of clubs is interesting because we are blocking some King Jack suited, some King 10 suited. Oh, I'm tired, jeez. Some King Queen suited, but we're also blocking a lot of unblocking a lot of hearts and spades and Jack 10, Queen Jack. I'm gonna play this as a check on a 25, but apparently there are bets. Ooh, do we start bluffing with our hand? Is our hand nice to bluff? When he checks, I'm not sure here. This is a spot I don't really know. I'm assume that when we check, we're just gonna check down. And we get this. I imagine we can't fold yet. And checking river and folding river. Wow, he doesn't find it. Interesting. Interesting. This is why I was unsure because like I know Ace King is supposed to bet sometimes on this flop, but the 25 is hard because it's low RNG. So I know we're not supposed to bet a lot. And then by the turn, it's weird that we're like turning this hand to a bluff because we have much better hands to turn to bluffs, I think. Like we have some like lower like hard X type stuff and some like maybe we actually don't have much that's lower. Now I'm thinking about it, like what's checking this flop that's lower than Ace King, right? Like maybe we check back some King Queen, but not really. Like most of our bluffs want to bet the flop. Maybe that's it's interesting to think about. Okay, 6 is on 5 deuce deuce. big bet check type of scenario with these sizings being used or check. On a 31, I will check. And 77, I think we just have a very nice check down hand. I don't really see a point in betting. No folding yet. The jack is not great, but I don't think I can fold a pair. I really like this combo as a call, ironically enough. Okay, I want to see like if he bets. My intuition is that this would be a very nice call to call down with, especially because he starts betting the heart turn as opposed to the spade flop. So he's going to be less so situated around spades than he is hearts. So if we look at the river and like let's say he bets like 30, if we can call the sixes with the six of spades. Okay, it looks like it's irrelevant what suit we have, but it looks like it's mostly doing calling or jamming. Interesting. Because I guess the idea is that he doesn't have much six of spades hands anyways. It'll turn to, yeah, I guess that makes sense. The six of spades should be irrelevant. Okay. Ace 5 suited on queen 9-8. This is a shit board for ace 5 suited. We're going to be probably mixing. This will probably be like a 50% bet, 50% check type of spot where it's like not an amazing board, but it's not a terrible board for us. This is too bad, I think, to bet. And easy. Again, I want to check this spot. I know I'm going back and forth a lot. Let me just like delete my tabs. But I do want to just make sure that I'm understanding these spots pretty well. Because I think this is about 50-50, I would assume, in terms of if we're supposed to check or bet. Yeah, a little more than that, but I was kind of right. It's not an amazing board, but we do have some stuff that connects with it. Okay. Moving on. Looks like we're doing okay so far. King Queen on a 90. I would choose these two sizings. I think on a 90, I'll choose the middle-ish sizing. He folds the nines. Looks good to me. Aces on 8 for deuce. I would mostly play these two sizings. I think that this board is less so connected, so maybe I choose this more, but on an 88, I will choose the bigger one. Yeah, this might be a slight mistake because as I said, it's less so connected, so I would be mostly using this. I guess with the ace of spades, we choose this as a trap more often, which I didn't even think about. On an 88, of course, it's going to be a bet, but maybe this is overdoing it a little too much. And now here, I think this makes a really nice check. And no jams. I think this just makes a really nice call. I don't see much of a reason to jam here. And we'll just play this as a check call. And hopefully not run into eights. That would suck. Tens. Yeah, so I understand the point being that we're supposed to trap this, and I understand the fact that we don't really have much larger bets. It's more so conglomerated around like the middle sizing. I'm interested again at looking at the bet sizings exactly. I would imagine it's going to be bigger, and 12.5 are the sizings, but I'm not sure how much we're using of each. I think 12.5 is going to be the main size, as I said, but it looks like bigger is also a thing, but less so with aces. Like we're reserving it more for the hands, of course, that need protection. I should have thought about that and just understood that aces is a hand. Like kings, queens, and jacks and tens will have it, but aces is a hand. Be more so on a trap, especially with the ace of spades and the ace of hearts combo. Like this is a combo that we're just going to need so little protection with, you know? So that makes sense to me. Ace jack on 9-7-6, 49. I mean, you can argue that you could bet here blocking some jack 10 that will continue. I don't think that there's a reason. I think we're too high up in range to be bluffing this hand, and we have some nice turns for us, so I will play it as a check. Like this turn. On a 21, it's interesting because I really want to go like 28.75, and I think this hand makes a lot of sense to do that with. Unblocking his heart stuff that might check the flop, as well as maybe some 10x continues, some lower jack x. Now on the 21, I will bet some. I don't think I really want to check this hand. I really don't feel like giving him any sort of out. I don't want to let him realize, so I will pick. Interesting that we do mostly play checks. My biggest consideration was to play this. It's interesting that we do play a check. I don't really understand why. I think our hand needs a lot of protection. So why don't we check the solver and see what's going on? It looks like this is just a grim turn for us, but when we do bet big, as I thought. We don't really have overbets, and our hands that want to be betting more so are stronger than ace jack. It looks like that's the reason. Ace jack is just not high up in our range enough to start betting. Like ace 10 suited is nice because it's a nice bluff and it blocks stuff, but our value range looks like it's just stronger than ace jack. And we want to be very careful, of course, because it's a good board for him. So we do pick it, and he folds with ace queen. Ace 2, I think this makes a very intuitive check. We will have some checks on this board. I don't think many, but like the idea is if we have something like kings or queens or jacks, we're going to want to check. And I think the idea here is see you at the river. I don't think we want to play a bet with ace 2. And now I think I'm leaning towards like 37 here. I'm going to pick 37. Interesting that we don't have it. It wants to go small. I don't understand why the reason is. Maybe because he just doesn't show up with ace queen or ace king enough. Do we have any? Let's check. Do we have any overbets on this river? Bet 37. Looks like we do. Not a lot. But it looks like the majority sizing is just going to be middling to small. And maybe that's just because his range is going to be very little king x or ace x. And it's just going to be a lot of stuff that folds. And so we don't need to go big. But interesting. Okay, ace is on king 9-8. We roll an 8. Yeah, this is a hard spot. This is a hard spot when we roll an 8. It's not a hard spot in general. Like we're gonna be betting a shit ton on this board, but I don't know what to do on an 8, and I don't think we're gonna be checking. So I'm gonna pick 11.5 and pray. Okay. Oh, interesting turn. I think like going massive here makes a lot of sense. Like I don't think jam is a thing, but I think 35.5 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, right idea. Oh shit. Do I think that it's good enough to jam here or to play check call? This is weird. Spade draws all get there. We roll a 96 though. Okay, I'm gonna say this mixes and I'm gonna play it as a jam. Okay, no mixing. And nines. Interesting. Ace A6. Nice hand. Blocking his ace king, king ace queen continues. And then also blocking his king x of spades continues and his queen x of diamonds continues. This is a very nice hand to start betting on. Yep. King jack suited, very nice hand too. Interesting though, because this hand is an interesting hand. So the issue with this hand is it may be more so for jack 10 than king jack, but it realizes decently well. Like of course we need to hit a 10, but like hearts, the king comes in, the jack comes in, and we're doing okay. And so your instinct is to not turn this hand to that much of a bluff, but I think we do want to bet. And I would pick the 12.25 sizing, seems enticing to me. And I think at this point, this is also an interesting turn. Like, of course we don't have the spade, but our hand is a very natural bluff at this point. I'm going to say we give up, but I would not be surprised if I'm wrong. Shit, this is also a really hard spot. I'm not sure what to do with this hand because, again, like the king and the jack are very nice. I'm just wondering if we have better hands. to bluff with. Like, I'm wondering if we want to be blocking his queen jack. Like, if we just don't want to have king jack. He has nice blockers. Like, maybe we prefer to have something like ace x suited, maybe. I think I'm going to play this as a check. Okay. Ace 5 suited on 8-7-4. Yeah, like the instinct here is to bet. I think you're actually going to play a lot of checks here. I don't think there's any reason to bet. And I think we want to play a lot of check raises. So I'd imagine what we're going to be doing is playing check raise. And at this point, I think that this needs to be a bluff. I think that we're too low down in our range to consider even checking this. The question is what size we want to pick. And I'm going to pick 17.5. Okay, slight mistake. It chooses overbet. I was thinking that you might be able to pick that. I guess the idea is just in general with these pairing cards that don't do super well that you play overbet. I wouldn't really play as much like checking here. Apparently it's a thing, but okay. King Jack on the 10-7-4 looks like a give up to me. Apparently it's not because we're too low down in range, but we rolled low enough, so this again is a tough spot. So if we're supposed to be betting this on flop a decent amount, then my guess is that we have to start turning this into a bluff because we're really low down in range, is my guess. Okay. Nope. Wrong. Okay. And now we're in la-di-da-di land where we don't really know what's going on. So the interesting thing then is to look at the spot where we were wrong about bluffing and understand what hands we should be bluffing on this turn, if not King Jack. So it's looking like we just give up, but the hands that we do want to use look like they're weaker than King Jack. Slightly off. It looks like we're doing it a lot with, oh no, those are 10x. It looks like we just give up. And then we're playing hands with super duper equity like ace 3, ace 5. My throat. Whew. So it looks like when we check, we just give it up. Interesting. Aces on the 8-6-5, I think makes a pretty intuitive check here with the ace of spades and ace of hearts. And the 9 gets on the turn, and I think we will just be playing check call. Pretty nice call here, and just playing check call on river, I think. Cool. 10s on the 6-6-3, mostly betting big, I assume, but on a 16 we'll check. I got it kind of right. Okay. Apparently it's 9%. Interesting. Are we good enough to go for value here when he checks the flop? Probably. I'll play overbet. Okay. Oh, the ace of spades is so grim. I think we have to just check fold. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a check fold. That's a pretty grim river. And he finds the bluff with eights. That's sick. Ace queen on the king 5-4 looks like a bet. This is gonna just be like a range bet spot. We chose small and he is big, and this is a thing apparently to raise even more because he's bluffs. Okay. Queen's on the jack 6-6 board. We roll a 14. So I know that this spot is going to be mostly playing like, again, this size. Now on the 14, do we have any checks? I'm going to say no. And I'm going to bet. And the king turn, I think we're going to play queens as a check. This might be a size we might use very often. Yeah, so that's what I was wondering. I said 16.15 might be a size we're using very often. And then queens, I think, by the river is either going like 5 big blinds or betting 17.5. That's what I thought. And queen jack. Well, same hand. There we go. Ace 10 on jack 8-5 is looking like a spot we will be betting probably about 60-50%. With the ace 10 with no backdoors, I think this is going to be a give up. Apparently not. Apparently we suck. The 10 turn, I think that this is a point where we just want to check down. Weird spot here. I guess I'll play check on a 4. Okay. Ace jack on ace 7 deuce with the backdoor. We rolled a 19. Of course, I prefer to be checking the ace jack as opposed to ace king. So on a 19, I guess we'll play check. Nope. On the 7 turn, it's pretty nice. I think I'll bet a 5 though. And now this is going to be a pure bet. I think 15.5 makes some sense here. 22. I was pretty much right though. Like I got the kind of concept right. It's hard to pick these exact sizings. And we get called by ace 10 and lost a shit ton of value that we probably could have gotten otherwise. Queen 8. This looks like a bet to me. I think I like our suits a lot, and I think I like blocking queen jack and having some odds and approval. So I'm going to pick 13.25. Interesting. The question is this strong enough to go for value? I think so. I think we're almost always good here. I don't think we're usually losing. So I'm going to play this as an all-in and just calling. That's a pretty easy call. That's an unfortunate hand to see, but we're up usually against a range that we're beating. King 4 on ace 9 5. I think this is just going to be a give up. Oh, this is an interesting turn though. Okay. We rolled a 14, and if we're thinking about what we want on bluff, we would prefer to have stuff with equity, so I'll check. And now it might make sense to pick something like 8.5. No, because we're not getting called by much King X though. Like we're at the bottom of our King X range. Oh, this is so hard. I don't know what to do here. I guess I'll fold King 4. We picked the right decision, but apparently not GTO wise. Like I could see myself calling here with something like King 10, but the issue is that or King Queen would be nice for something to be playing check call with. But King 4 it's a little bit problematic because I guess maybe because he's in position he doesn't have to bet. He would just check back his King X, so he's either repping ace X or nothing. Okay, and we like unblocking like his 10 or Jack X. 71, King 10, very low showdown, some odds of improving, and connected well to the Jack. I will play this as a bet. Apparently bigger is a little better, but we picked the right sizing. And now I think that this is just going to be a give up. Even on an 88, we have no shot of improving. And just check folding. All right. Ace, King 9, Ace, Jack. Looks like a spot where we're going to bet like 5 or 8.25. I think that this makes a very nice bet small or check spot. Very interesting that we don't have this. It's the same EV, so it's fine. And then here, probably playing this as a 17.5 or check, I was going to say. But maybe it just doesn't have enough that can call. That's going to ruin our GTO Wizard score, but go fuck yourself. I think the play is fine. Ace Jack on Ace King 10. Looks like a 90, looks like a pretty nice small bet spot. And I don't think that there's much folding here with the Jack. And playing this mostly as a check. Interesting. And this is just going to be a jam, very clear jam. And Ace Queen calls. Okay. Aces on King 6-2. Rolling a 46. I don't think we really have many big bets, but I prefer to pick this size than this size. We do. Apparently we do. Calls. I think we're just going to pick 33 and go with it. That's a pretty shit river, but still. King 10. Very nice. Ace Queen on a Queen Queen Jack. Roll a 7. I don't think it matters. I don't think we're doing checking. Playing this as a call. That's pretty horrendous of a turn. I think we'll play it as a call. And checking the river and no folding, of course. We're blocking. The ace queen combo is very nice to call down with. And we just have the same hand. King Queen on Queen 6-4. So I imagine we're doing some checking here. Maybe on a 20 we do check. I would normally be choosing, I think, the middling sizing here, but I think on a 20 checking makes sense. And then as played, I think raise almost always. Apparently not, but we did find raise. And I think at this point, I think we have to pick jam. I don't like the jack, but still. Okay. Wrong. We suck. All right, that's fine. King 9-2, ace king hand. I like these two sizings. I will choose this one. King 3, 10-9-4 looks like a give up to me. Still looks like a give up to me. No improving, no nothing here. Just giving up. Even with the Queen River. This is interesting at this point. I think we bear a lot of our Jack X on the turn, but we are at the bottom of our King X range. So like maybe like King 7 we don't bluff, but King 3 we do. So I'm gonna choose this as a bluff. He folds. There we go. Sevens on a 5-4-4. Again, playing big bet check. Mostly checking on a 36, I think. I don't know if we can raise this. I don't think there's much merit to doing it because we just own ourselves, so I think I'll play call. The 6 is very interesting. Now it's looking like we just have a call hand and check, and I don't think that there's much folding, I was going to say. Okay. Ace 4 and Queen 7-4, doing some betting with this combo with no heart, no diamond, and a 31. Checking. Nope. Get fucked. Calling when we do get bet into. I guess this is the issue that we're just going to get like barreled out of the pot. Maybe. Yeah, I was wondering if we do have to bluff the river. Interesting. Oh well. King 10 on King 9-8, betting small. I'm going to probably run about like 5 more hands and then call it because it's been a little long and I understand it can be like a little boring. I imagine betting small makes a lot of sense. And then I don't think that this hand is necessarily super strong. I would imagine that we prefer to bet with our larger King X than our smaller. On a 71 though, it's hard. I will play check. And this is also a weird river. Like I kind of like block here on the river as opposed to big. Like it's going to be very hard to get called by much worse, but we do need to bet. So we block on the river and he calls and we do get called by worse. All right, last two. Ace Queen 4 on a 64 looks like a small betting spot to me. I like 5 or 8.25. And I like check here, a decent amount. 41, I think I'll play it. Not folding just yet. Wow. Interesting that we just run our equity here. And I guess I'll check here. And of course calling down. But he's just going to have a lot of hearts, I think. So I guess we play jam because we just want to run our equity and we don't care about having a not amazing kicker in this spot. Ace 10, 20. Okay. So this is not a hand we're going to be checking a lot. Now, I don't think we can be pure betting it. I guess we'll call. And apparently it's a pure raise. The reason I wanted to call is because we're blocking a lot of his value range at this point, and I think all-in makes sense by the river, but interesting. I guess we just want to run our equity. Okay, last one. Ace 8-5 on a 4, I'll check. By this point, I think we need overbet. I think overbet makes a lot of sense. No overbet. Maybe it's just because we get owned and we get called by a lot of ace-king. Okay, we can't end like that. We got to end on like a good hand. Ace 6-2 looks like a range bet spot to me. Okay, on the 2. And here I guess we'll run it. Okay, apparently we can't, there's no reason to run it here because there's bluffs. This makes a lot of sense to me. I think that this is a major mistake. That was a blunder on the turn because there's no draws and we don't have to protect. Like the other hand, for example, we did have to protect, so that's why we jam. Okay, we can't end like that. Queen 10 on a queen 7-5. I think that this makes a lot of sense as a check. Now, on a 68, though, I'm not sure. Okay, apparently we don't check this ever. Okay, that was boring. We need another one. Ace 3. The ace 5, like on a 3, maybe it makes sense as a check. Okay. I think I want to bet small here, I'd imagine. Maybe this or this. I'm not sure. Okay, wrong. Okay, we need to get one right. I'm sorry. We just need to keep going until we get one right. 14. This is too good of a hand to check, I think. And pure checking the turn. Calling the turn. And check. Okay. We're gonna call it on that. That's good enough that we're gonna get. Apparently I'm like losing it. But as you see, we got 73 percent. We were up above 73 for a while. We were like at like 80 something, but the last couple of hands kind of ruined it a little bit. So not amazing. I mean, most of our stuff that we did wrong was inaccuracies, and we did very little blunders. So I'm not too unhappy about it. And we got most of the stuff best, even with the RNG. So I'm pretty happy. So I guess I'm just gonna stop it here, and feel free to comment if you think that I played like shit. If any comments in general on things I can do to improve, or if you learned anything, feel free to comment on this video. But anyways, I guess I will see you in the next one. Peace.